Welcome back to another episode of Hot Mess Espresso. As always, HMA is proudly sponsored by 502 Media. But let's just get into it. We have another podcaster, someone who I have clicked with from literally day one. We have Alyx Wilkins on the freaking podcast today. Hi, babe.
Hey, babe, I'm so excited. I was just thinking in my head how funny it is, like watching other podcasts intro their show
Yeah,
because it's always, I don't know why, but it's always so awkward.
it
And
is.
then I'm like watching it on the other end and it's funny. I love it though.
So speaking of podcasts, you have one.
I do. Yes, I do.
So what everyone's got like an origin story.
hmm
So what's your origin story for how For Better Hustle came about?
Yeah. So it's the story I've told 1,000 times, but I got laid off in January and then I was crying to my then partner. And I was just like, I don't know what to do. Cause I was sorry, I have like 7 baby kittens and they're going crazy. So if you hear anything in the background, that's them destroying my house. But
Yeah.
I was crying to my then partner and I was like, I don't know what to do because my last job I didn't love,
Hmm.
but it was a good fit for me. And then, it was technically the dream job, right? Like I got the dream salary, the dream benefits, all the things. So I was sitting there and I was like, I don't really know what to do because it was the dream and then I lost it, even though a
Hmm.
layoff has nothing to do with you.
Right.
But so then my partner and I had started talking about like, what if we got into the kind of like the social media platform space because that's something that has interested us both.
Hmm.
And so For Better or Hustle was a twist on For Better or Worse.
Hmm.
And as my podcast adapted, I never actually like changed the name or made it fit the different atmosphere because originally it was supposed to be the two of us. Then as I started like mapping things out and really actually talking and putting time and effort in, I realized, nope, this is a just me podcast. That will be kind of like a subset of my business.
Hmm.
But I think For Better or Hustle still works. I think it
It
makes a lot
does.
of sense, right? Because I mean, for better or worse in all things, right? Not just relationships, but
Yeah.
you have to show up for your business even when you don't want to, and you have to promote even when you haven't created anything, and you have to. Um, it's a 24-hour gig. I think the
Literally.
name literally. I think the name fit, and so now here we are.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that because like it literally is a 24-hour gig. The giant joke with business owners and like people that are on their own ventures always say like I quit the 9 to 5 so I could work 24/7. And holy shit. Like I'm sure you do this as a podcaster, but if I'm not on the mic, I am networking, I am following, I am like integrating into different people's Instagrams, and it feels kind of
Yeah.
pick me sometimes because I'm like, hey, notice me. But it also like builds that rapport.
hmm
I'm following other like I'll get snippets of like these big podcasters and I'm like, okay, what are they doing that like I can integrate in like as a creative influence? Like,
hmm
you know, I'm so sick of looking at my phone.
Yeah.
I'm
You're
so
so
tired of
much
it.
better than me though, because I I don't really follow trends. And even though I love podcasts and I listen to podcasts, I probably should fix this, but like I don't really um pay attention to what other people are doing. But having your own
Hmm.
business, especially in the social media space, is pick me. And people
Yep.
hate on the pick me girl all the time, but it's so real because yeah, you're sending messages and you're like, hey, I can't tell you how many times on threads I've seen someone be like, hey, I have like 10 spots. And then there are 1,000 comments and everybody is saying, pick me, literally. So that's very real. And you kind of have to like swallow your pride a little bit and kind of be I'll do anything to get that opportunity or whatever. That not like anything, not in a gross way, but like
I
you kind of
mean,
have
no.
to mean, you do have to fight tooth and nail
You
sometimes,
do.
especially at the beginning. Um, so listen, there's nothing wrong with being the pick me girl
I
ever.
mean, I feel like there's a fine line between just like having the drive and networking your ass off and
Yeah,
being a literal pick me, but like,
yeah,
that's just me
yeah.
being a little
Don't take this
sensitive to
as
pick me's lately.
yeah. Don't take this as an excuse to be lazy, guys. You
Yeah.
have to put the work and effort in. But if you're it's like the grace concept, give yourself grace concept. A lot of people do it or say
God.
it to be lazy, but that's not what it is. It's if
Yeah.
you've been going for weeks and weeks and weeks or even days at 100 miles per hour and you haven't had any rest, then give yourself grace and have a lazy day in bed or go to the beach, whatever the thing is, right? So they're both concepts that kind of like go hand in hand. They're not meant for you to put no effort in,
Right.
but you have to, yeah, sometimes you have to, wave jump up and down and wave your hands or be like that. What
Yeah.
are those blow ups in front of car dealerships?
Oh
Those
yeah,
like
those
little
little
things
like
that like wave around
yeah.
everywhere. That's at least what it feels like to me sometimes is,
But
yeah.
yeah, but you also have to stay true to yourself because I feel like people will pick that out from a mile away if you're just like trying to adapt to being somebody that you're not. And
Yes.
you'll feel it too. Like I
Yep.
always know when I'm trying to put myself into a box that I have zero business being in.
Hmm.
And I'm just like, I'm uncomfortable. And it used to be like, especially with like my borderline diagnosis, like I would fit into any box that I was around long enough. And now that like, I'm in recovery and all of that, I'm kind of like, I will literally flat out be like, yeah, I don't like that I'm putting myself in this box to try and like fit this narrative because it's not me.
Yeah.
Like,
I
I don't care if
love
it's a
that you just
job,
said
a
that.
relationship, I ain't doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that you just said that because I've always been someone who's very contrary. Like that's
Hmm.
just who I am. I like a lot of different things that some mesh, some don't mesh. Um and so a lot of my life I had issues because people would try and put me in the box, not me putting myself in the box, but try and put me in the box. And then obviously I wouldn't conform to these corners.
Hmm.
And then we would have issues because I'm being who I've always been, but these people, platonic relationships, even freaking family members who would be like, what are you? Who are you? Like, you make no sense. I'm like, no, you just never paid attention. But to know what you just said, if you're around something long enough, you kind of become that. I think that's normal. Not like, there's obviously everything is on a spectrum, but
Right.
it's the same concept of like, um, you are what you surround yourself with.
Literally.
And so I tell people that all the time, friends, family, clients, like if you are someone who's a go-getter, but you are spending most of your time around lazy people who don't have any drive, you are eventually, unfortunately, going to become one of those people, unless you're like you just said, yeah, this isn't for me. I'm gonna, go, have fun. Don't call me.
Literally. Lose my
Literally.
number. Like,
Yeah.
lose,
Don't
just no.
What's that? I never watched Sex in the City, but I see it everywhere. She's like
I
breaking
never
up with
watched it
Big
either.
for the last, probably not the last time, because I know they ended up married, but she's telling him to like forget her number, but then she's like, no, actually forget my name. Forget that I even existed. I'm not
Hmm.
real. And that's what people need to do sometimes. And yeah, I know that they came out with their new series, haven't watched it, won't ever watch it. Um,
You know,
so sorry to all the Sex and the City lovers out there.
I know. Sex in the City, Gilmore Girls, Friends. I never really got into that. One Tree Hill, though,
I've
that's my shit.
never watched One Tree Hill, but I'm a slut for Friends and
I
New
just
Girl.
like New Girl is good. New Girl
New
is
Girl's
really good.
hilarious.
I couldn't. I'll like watch Friends clips, but if you expect me to sit down and watch the entire show, it's not happening. Like I don't know why. I just can't.
It's so good. And then another show that I really love that is not in the same genre at all whatsoever. Downton Abbey.
Okay, so like I haven't watched that yet. It's on my eventually if I like give myself enough of an attention span to actually do it.
I need you to watch it. It's so good.
I'm gonna
And
be
they're
getting
coming
weekly text
out.
messages.
Listen, they're coming out with their last movie in what's July, August, 3 months. 3 months. Their final movie. They have, what is it, 7 seasons, 3 movies. I need
Has it
you to
been
watch
7
it.
seasons already?
Yeah.
Holy
7 seasons, 3 movies. It's so good. It's so good. I need you to watch it. And then, yes, I will be texting you every week for updates for your homework assignments because honestly, once you get sucked into the universe of Downton Abbey, I don't even know how we ended up here, but once you get sucked into
I
the
mean,
universe
I'm not
of Downton
complaining.
Abbey, it's so good. And like, yes, it's a soap. Like people are always like, ah, soap operas and da 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 da. But like, what's the difference between soap operas and a telenovela? Not a lot. They're just in different languages.
I just
So
like nobody grew up on General Hospital in Days of Our Lives when you were homesick.
literally
Like the
facts.
hell?
Literally facts. So what's the difference? There isn't one.
Like
And
come on.
honestly, this is probably better because Days of Our Lives, like it's kind of like Grey's Anatomy. Like there's just so much
I can't get into
going
Grey's
on
Anatomy.
all the time and these twists and these turns. Like I literally watched you blow up. How are you still alive?
Okay, I was literally about to say that. Like, I swear to God, with those soap operas, how many times has somebody been brought back from the dead in 50 years? Like, they leave the show, like 10 years later, all of a sudden they're like, I was in witness protection this whole time and I faked my death. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me, Victor. Like,
Literally. Like literally, and it's all in order to keep the story going, which I understand. You want your show to be on the TV as long as you possibly can get it there. But like 20 seasons of the same thing happening over and over and over again, it's too
yeah,
much. And these shows, right, soaps, you cry, you laugh, you know, your favorite characters die. There's just too emotional,
yeah,
there's just too emotionalness. I don't know what I'm trying to say there,
yeah.
but it's just too much sometimes. I stopped watching Grey's Anatomy after like 7 seasons because I was like, I can't do this every time I watch an episode.
Try
Like I
watching
can't.
Sons of Anarchy.
I love Sons of Anarchy. I
I
could
love
never
it
finish
too,
it.
but I still cannot, like, get my ass through season 5, episode 3. If you know, you know.
I
Although
don't
at
know,
this
so don't
point,
spoil.
although, no, I feel like the final season was like, what, 10 years ago?
Is this
Or
what
no,
I
did it
think
start
it is?
airing in 10? Like, I want to say like it stopped airing like 4 or 5 years ago. So like at this point, like, look, there have been so many character deaths on that show. It's not even funny. But the one that will always kill me is Opie.
Okay, so then it's not what I'm thinking.
No, that was season 5, episode 3. Because I'm a
Yeah,
nut and I've watched it like 14 times.
I started watching, I never got like that deep. I wanted to. I wanted it to
Oh,
be like
girl,
my show for the longest,
girl.
especially because of the main character. Duh. But um I just know that, you know, he dies and I'm just like, why am I watching this?
Yeah, like I understand why it wrapped the way it did, but like I feel like that last episode was just so like there's going to be no consequences for all of this, like
Yeah.
with all of the things that happened on the series finale. I'm like, and then
Yeah.
I finally got into Mayans like what 6 months ago and watched that through and I was like, you just like offing the main character at the end. Like that's
Yeah.
just what you like to do, Kurt Sutter. Like I love it. I absolutely love it. I love that it was based on the Sons was based off of Hamlet because I'm such a Shakespeare girl. But
Yeah.
like, or was it Hamlet or Macbeth? I want to say it was Hamlet. But like, I don't know. It was
Yeah.
my everyone's like, it's not accurate to like the biker world. I'm like, I don't care because
Yeah.
I'm not dating a biker. I'm not married to a biker. I have zero interest in being in that world. Just let me ogle over Chibs for the 85th
Yeah,
time
right?
because Tommy Flanagan is
Right? Like just yeah, let me watch these. Listen, I love the biker universe. I definitely want to be a part of the biker universe.
and I did
But
it for like a blip and that is all that I'm all set with that. I like
I know it's a
mm-mm,
lot, but like you literally just said, these characters are fucking hot, dude.
they are.
Like they're fucking sexy. Why can't I just sit here and ogle them for 45 minutes on my TV? Like, why does it have to be, why does everything have to be accurate? That's
Right.
another thing. Why does everything have to be accurate? And I
Yeah,
know
no.
that's not the thing to say in woke culture, but like I'm so tired of woke culture. It's too much
Yeah.
sometimes. In some instances, yes, it's needed. In others, can we just like calm down like this one time?
Right.
Like that
Yeah.
would be nice.
Yeah,
But
no. I knew it was inaccurate because there were no property of us with the whole thing,
Yeah.
and I only know that because I dated a guy in a club, um, and that was literally the reason that we split up, other than the fact that my entire family was like, "Absolutely not." But one of the main reasons we split up is because he was like, "Yeah, if we, like, are official, you're gonna have to wear this property of vest," and I said, "The fuck I am.
Yeah.
I
It's
am nobody's property. I don't fucking think so." He's like, "Well, it's protocol." I'm like, "Fuck your protocol." So,
you're better than me
whoops.
'cause that would've been like, "Property of yes, please. Put it on me." Listen, let's not get too deep into that. But,
I mean, I'll do it without the vest, you know what I mean? But, I feel like this is a conversation for a different podcast.
yeah.
Just saying.
Um,
We went so off topic, it's not even funny. But, for the sake of slight professionalism,
yes.
what how did you go from podcasting into coaching? Because I mean, like, honestly, they're kind of one and the same. Like,
Mhm,
everyone says that podcasting is really saturated. Coaching is also incredibly
mhm.
saturated.
Yeah.
Um, so how do you coach, and what's your niche, and, all of that stuff?
Yeah, so yes, it's saturated. Both platforms, both outlets are, but they're also both growing. So
Mhm.
it's okay to be saturated.
Exactly.
And what I tell people all the time, it's not as saturated as you think it is. Like, yes, you're getting ads and, everybody looks like a coach these days, but there's so many different facets. And then also, the algorithm, if you like one thing, you're going to see 10 different variations of that thing, right? That's
Exactly.
how social media works. Um, Again, not as saturated as you think it is. How it came about, I always wanted to help people in a way. I
Mhm.
wasn't ever really 100% sure on what that looked like until recently. But I had a few experiences as a young adult and an older adult where men and women would come to me and say, the way that you move, the way that you talk, the way that you network is like really inspiring. It made me want to move and talk and network um in a new way and try new things and chase that dream and like whatever that thing is. And my name literally means man's defender, like when you look up the definition.
Mhm.
So and I think I've been that my entire life. I've kind of like spoken up, not just for man, but like for the little person, the underdog. Like that's been something that I've always done. So the niche that I work in is kind of like mindset and confidence, like being your baddest bitch
I love that.
self, men and women,
Mhm.
um, without really like changing who you are, going back to like your um who you are to your core. And so my program, it's 8 weeks and we deep dive and we look at every single facet of your life. And the first 4 weeks are really about like awareness, figuring out your triggers from the first day, from the first check in, from the first prompt. I am triggering the fuck out of you. And I know that that is hard for some people, but
Mhm.
cheaper than therapy
Much
and
cheaper.
much cheaper than therapy. Um, but the reason I do that is because the last 4 weeks are about us taking what we learned and then actually implementing strategies into your everyday where those triggers are no longer as big as they used to be. And maybe not even as big, but you are now able to recognize it for what it is and, implement strategies and structures and whatever that looks like for you into your daily life so that you're able to carry on and not have to like consistently press pause or be scared or seek like outside validation. um does that mean once the 8 weeks are over that, your healing journey or whatever that looks like for you is done? Obviously not. I also recommend to a lot of clients to also seek therapy because therapy is, even though I'd say I get pretty deep into your nitty gritty parts, therapy is just, it's coaching is not in the life saving business, right? That's not
Exactly.
our goal. Therapy, that was probably not the best way to put that, but that's not what we do, right? Like
Mhm.
I don't have life-saving um
Coping.
certification.
Yeah.
Like and also coping mechanisms. If you are having suicidal ideations,
Mhm.
I'm not equipped for that. So most of my clients are also in therapy. And then I think it helps too because then I can bring awareness to that. A lot of people fight going to therapy, which I don't really understand because it's like adult playtime, at least in my eyes.
Yeah.
Um, I get to talk about that thing that's been pissing me off all week. And my therapist looks at me like I'm freaking crazy. And then she gives me objective advice. And then I look at her like she's freaking crazy.
Mhm.
And then we do the same thing the following week. Right. So, and then my podcast is, oh, I have a visitor. My podcast.
Easy.
Say hello.
My
It's
goodness.
Mufasa. Are you Mufasa?
He's
Are you?
so cute. I love cats.
Um, and then my podcast is kind of a subset of that. Like I look at it more of like a free resource type situation.
Mhm.
And then on there as well, same kind of how you do. I bring on um other coaches, therapists, other podcast hosts, um, that kind of help affirm. But then also I understand that a lot of coaches are a lot more soft spoken than I am. So if you want somebody who's like going to help you with meditation and, breath work, that's amazing. Not your girl. But if you want somebody who's going to give you the ugly truth and say it in a way that like finally clicks for you,
Mhm.
but and is like fucking yelling for you in the background, like cheering you on and getting you
Right.
to do the damn thing, then I'm for you.
Yeah.
So, I understand that that can be a little bit controversial because like you're essentially paying to get yelled at, not like really, but like a
I
little bit.
I mean, it's the
But
same as getting a personal trainer.
that, yeah, yeah, except I'm for your mind and the way you talk to yourself. And yeah, personal trainers are for, obviously physical whatevers. God, these cats. But yeah, I think it's something that I've always been like called to, but I didn't really figure out until recently. And I love it. Um,
Mhm.
I'm still very much in like the awareness stage and I have a few clients and like I love it. I think it's great and I put my literal blood, sweat and tears into it and um yeah, from the minute we, sign our contracts and get started is the minute I start triggering you and
I love when they sound like little squeaky toys.
they literally Mufasa Mufasa loves to bite tails. So he's my tail biter and I have I have two males and
Mm.
then um the mom and then one girl and then the rest I've rehomed um to like family members and friends who have been like one kittens in like safe places. But yeah, Mufasa's a nail biter and they play rough as hell. Cause like I said, I have two boys still. So they're just like going crazy on each other all the time, all day. And I'm like, I don't think I've ever witnessed sibling rivalry in animal before
Yeah.
until now. And it's
Suddenly, The Lion King makes sense.
yes, it's freaking yes. I could not have said that better myself.
Yeah. No, I've got two, I have 4 cats total. My ex-husband's taking, the 2 female tabbies. I still have the 2 boys, but they are large.
Yeah.
And, my ex has always been like, "Oh, it's Finn that, plays too rough with the girls. It's Finn that plays too rough with the girls." I literally almost texted him yesterday because I saw Max just like literally body slam Alfie, and I was like, "It's not just Finn. Max does it too." And like, it's funny because like, if Alfie yells and it's a different creature in the house, Max comes running. But
Hmm.
because Max was trying to take her out, all of a sudden Finn came running and Finn like whacked him. And I'm like, this is like oddly adorable, but also like, can we not today?
Yeah. Can we not have a sibling fight right here? I love the names for your cats. They're so cute.
Yeah.
Um, Max. I love the name Max. One of my favorite athletes of all time. His name is Max. My whole family knows his name, actually. My son, I'll be watching him on the TV and my son will go, "That's Max."
Oh my
And I'm like,
gosh.
"How do you know that? You've never met this person before." Neither have I. But um anyway, I love all of that. And it's so it's kind of like grounding watching your animals fight and bicker in their own weird little
Yep.
way. It's like it kind of brings perspective a little bit, which is so
Yeah,
weird and so crazy.
I know. So, um, obviously not wrapping anytime soon, but how can people get a hold of you to even like get into this coaching stuff?
Yeah, so my Instagram is call me Alex or at call me Alex, Alyx. Don't get it twisted. And I have my email, my business email for better or hustle at gmail.com. I'm always monitoring almost a little obsessively my
Mhm.
inboxes. So I won't miss anything. I am open for more clients. I had two just graduate my program, and I give you a cute little certificate at the end for people who love things
I
to hang
love
on their
that.
walls. Um, yeah, I love it. It's like a cute little like token. Listen, I love certifications. You give me a certificate, I'll do
Right,
that shit so fast. I want to see that in my email. I want it mailed to my door. I love certificates. So I was like, let me do something, even though this isn't like accredited, you're not getting college credits.
right.
But
Like
kind
it's
of just
something.
like, yeah, just like a reminder of, hey, you did this. And then also, um, I tell my clients all the time, I never leave your side. I know other coaches have the same mindset as well. Um, but once you stop paying me, I'm still there.
Mhm.
Um, you still have my social media. You have once we start coaching, you'll get my business number and my personal. Um, I get your emergency contact information. And so if you ever like reach out, 6 months after we coach and are like, hey, I'm like really struggling, I'm like, all right, let's jump on a phone call. I know a lot of people, and thank God for them in their business, are like too busy. And then once coaching is done, that's kind of like where they sit. And that's perfectly okay. But like, I also got into this for like actually helping people. Like
Right,
that, something that I've always been called to do and something that I've always loved. And I really got into it because of community. I wanted to build community. I wanted to help people build community. And yeah, so if you do become a client and you think that after 8 weeks, it's really like 10 weeks within like, onboarding, and like we do take a split between the two
mhm.
um sections of my program just so that your nervous system can regulate and then we can
Right,
get back into it because it is a lot of hard work and a lot of hard conversations. But yeah, don't ever think that just because we're no longer coaching that you can't reach out. And I mean that like quite literally. I mean, like, don't call me at like 12 a.m. But
yeah,
send me a
there
message and I'll call
the
you back.
humane hour would be appropriate.
Yeah, a humane hour because I love my sleep and I'm a pretty groggy person. But I mean, if something's like actually happening and you think I can help you, please call me. But like,
Right.
don't just be like calling me and being like, "Oh, my boyfriend, that guy sucks." I'm be like, why are you calling me? I'm
Yeah,
gonna hang up the
literally,
phone. I'll talk to you tomorrow. But
literally.
literally, quite literally.
But how do you kind of juggle the anxiety and the self-doubt and everything else? Because I mean, this is relatively new.
Mhm.
So how do you kind of quell that, like, whole you know, self-doubt, not good enough, like, I'm never gonna be like this person, that kind of thing? How do you shut that off? Or do you shut that off?
Move too fast, honestly, to even have those doubts.
Mhm.
That's a ridiculous answer.
I mean, it makes
It's
total sense
true
to
though.
somebody with, like, a high, like, zoom drive.
Yeah, like and it is true. I do move fast. I have a million ideas and I try and implement every single one of them. Um, but I'm also, like I said, community. Um,
Mhm.
I actually just found myself after 20 years stepping back into a church for the first time. And I didn't set on fire, which was amazing.
That's
And
wow.
the first message, thank you. Um, the first message that they literally gave that day was about community, and everything that they said, I preached to my clients. And it's when you have moments of self doubt, or for whatever reason, and because of today's society, instead of going deeper into things that make us happy, we self isolate, which
Mhm.
is a backwards logic and we should not be doing because
Right.
if things take slower, we're just stuck. When things get hard, you need to immerse yourself into your community because they're going to keep you grounded. They're going to tell you, you're going to vent to them about, like I follow this one woman who's been in the business for 15 years and she's got all of these accolades and she's spoken on stages and she's written books and like all these things. And these are things that I strive for,
Mhm.
to speak on stages. And I'm currently writing a
Same.
book. So, um, it's easy to do the compare and contrast game, but then your friends are going to be like, are you fucking crazy? Like, you've been in it for 6 months. She's
Yeah.
been in it for 15 years. And like, yes, you know that logically, but we're human. I think
Yeah,
it's easy
exactly.
to do that. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's a bad thing if you become obsessed, right? Like you just cannot get out of this thought process, cannot get out of this anxious moment, something that triggers you.
Mhm.
But I think it's normal to be like, oh, like that person's really living that life I want to do. But use it as fuel, right? Like if you want to be living, the life that that person who's been doing this for 15 years is living, fight harder. It's
Exactly.
kind of like, unfortunately, when Kim Kardashian was like telling everybody to like get up and work. That's real. Maybe not in the sense she was saying it, but like
Yeah.
if you want something, you have to work for it. And just because you love it doesn't mean it's going to be easy. That's another misconception. Oh, I love it, so I'll never have to work a day in my life. Who told you that?
Bullshit. Because you
Where
know
the
what?
hell did you get that?
I love this. Let me tell you. I
Like
cry when I have to edit. Like, I
literally.
I literally like, there are some things that are work that I
Yeah.
don't wanna do, but I love being on the mic and talking to
Yeah.
people and, like you said, building that community, fostering that community, like,
Yeah.
doing all of these things that not only am I helping them, they're helping me.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's another thing. People are always like, you have to be selfless. No. No, no,
No,
no. I'm doing this
absolutely not.
selfishly. I'm literally doing this selfishly. And that's why I know it will work
Mhm.
because I'm selfish about it. And so, yeah, when people, it makes me so angry when people are like, you'll never work a day in your life if you love it. No,
No.
you're going to cry. You're going to scream. You're going to get the rejection. You're going to have to find new opportunities. You're going to, something's not going to pan out the way you want it to. But because you love it,
Mhm.
you will be able to stay determined and to work harder for it. Yes,
That's
that
the
is
thing.
true. If
Like,
it's something you hate, you're just going to be like, all right, I'm out.
yeah, it really comes down to, it's not you'll never work a day in your life. It is the work will be worth it.
Yes.
You'll hate it the entire time,
Yes.
but it'll be worth it. Like,
Yeah. Because
I
work is
don't
work.
yeah. It's not there's not nobody that podcasts is like, "Oh my god, I love every single aspect about it. I don't feel burnout at all." Like, I definitely every time I get on the mic, I'm so excited. There are days where I am, and I'll be honest on my Instagram, I'm like, "Look, I didn't want to pod today. I did not want to get on the mic. I wanted to cancel. I didn't, and it was like one of the best episodes I had." Like that kind of thing, but there are days where I'm like, I don't want to do this. Or like
Yeah.
I'm just frazzled and I don't feel like I'm coming here fully present in order to do it. But like those are the days I just wing it. I'm like, look, fuck it. If I stumble over my words, if I sound like an awkward son of a bitch, like that's me. That is me in that moment today. And that honestly is what has kind of curated the brand of Hot Mess Espresso,
Yeah.
because I'm completely me, the good, the bad, the horribly awkward, because I ain't ugly. But like, so it's just the good, the bad, the me. And that's what keeps people listening. It's for, is this the day that Max is gonna bat at the fucking sign up there? Is this the day that, my dog's gonna lose her shit? Thankfully, she's sitting here being a complete angel, and now I have to like burn some sage. But that's that's just how it is. I hate the whole you'll never work a day in your life. It's always work. It's always going to feel like work. There's days I have to drag myself into the studio to do shit that I know is going to better the pod.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
but you
I
do
agree
it.
completely. I agree completely. Something that you said as well is like, the good, the bad, the awkward. People respond to that too, right? If they
Mhm.
see, wow, this person is in a place where I want to be, but they have days that are hard too, and they're like open about that. People respond so great to that. And another thing that kind of got me into this space and into this business was like, I was noticing that a lot of people were already successful and then telling their story, as
Mm,
opposed to telling their story from day one
yeah.
and showing that, that entire process, the 4 steps forward, the 8 steps back. Like, so that's another reason I got into it, because like I'm just a plain ass Jane. Not really, but like I'm a normal person out here living my normal life. I'm a mom. I, am striving for better things for my kids. And um like that's that. And so I love those stories even more, right? And that social media is now getting towards that, where before it
Thank
was like these.
God.
I know it's been too much, but
Too much, like, right here. Like,
yeah, too
I'm
much.
all for being too much. Like, shout out to Emma's Too Much podcast because, like, I literally got this last night. I'm like, I have to wear it because I
Yes, I
get told
love
I'm too
it.
much all the damn time. But, like,
Yep.
social media is truly the evil too much. Like,
Yes.
what the hell is going on?
Yes. I need one of those hats. I also have
I'll
been
send
told
you
that
the
I'm too
link.
much. Yes, please. I've also been told that I'm too much all the time. Too much and too little. Never enough and, expecting too much. Like
Yeah,
it's
I'm like,
just like
pick one.
pick one also, but like who are you? Just because you can't
Yeah.
handle doesn't mean I'm asking for too much. And also, am I ever really asking for too much?
No, no, God forbid you ask for the bare minimum.
Literally facts. I had this guy, super sweet guy that I met before my now ex-partner.
It's so weird when you're in that, like, they're
Yeah,
not
like
your ex, like, spouse, but that you're definitely not together, but you're,
yeah,
like,
and
separated. It's
we
weird.
still
Trust me,
live
I went through it.
together and the lines are blurred and like all the
Yeah,
things. Yeah, it's
I
weird.
went through that all last year.
Um but before I had met him, I had talked to somebody. They found me on social media, which at the beginning I found to be weird. But they were like one of the most sweetest people that I had like ever met. And we never actually met. He was in the military, but um
Red flag.
I was always red flag.
As an
Um
ex-military spouse, red flag.
but I always used to be like, God, you are literally like the cherry on top of ice cream. Like you are a caramelized cherry. Like, wow, how are
Mhm.
you this sweet of a person? And he very plainly was like, this is the bare minimum.
I
And I
know.
was like, well, fuck me. I guess my fucking ideas of love are crazy.
Yeah.
I was like, no, like you're like a lollipop. Like you're so sweet. Like
Mhm.
there's a little bit more here. And he's like, no, I'm just being me. And I'm like, well, where do you, are there more of you? Is there
Right. Do
like,
you have
is
a
there like
brother?
a colony? Like, yeah, like, is there a colony somewhere where you guys are
Right.
like stored waiting? Because like, what the fuck?
Mhm.
And then obviously we never met and then life happened. So yeah, but I just remember that. And I was like, how is it that this guy through the phone that I've never actually met in person. We used to talk on the phone and like FaceTime and like all that stuff, but I've
Mhm.
never actually met you in person. Treats me better than 95% of the people that I've dated.
Mhm.
And I don't shy away from the number. I mean, I don't really know the number, but I've dated. I've been around. I'm almost
Yeah.
30. Okay.
I'm like,
Um,
look, I locked myself down at 28 and I've slept with barely anybody since I split up from my ex-husband.
yeah.
18 to 28 was
I
a
did my
ride.
100 hours. Okay. And
Yeah,
I'm
like
not
literally.
ashamed.
I
Um,
I have all my Thanos rings in several departments. Like it's fine.
but I mean, like, that's like the thing. Like, I'm also seeing this trend again. I have no idea how we're getting on these topics, but
I
I
love it.
also see this trend lately because I love dating older guys. But I'm also now seeing a trend where younger guys is where it's at.
Literally, everyone's like, I'm 34. I thought I'd date somebody 40. This 24. I'm like, no, no. I
Like,
have to
I'm like,
draw a line. If your
what?
frontal lobe is not developed,
Yeah,
no. Like okay. I don't know if you watched Jersey Shore when you
I
were
did
like,
for a little bit.
okay.
Yeah,
You're too young for me, bro. Like, I can't. I fucking can't. I'm literally like, if you're under 30, because I'm 33, like, I'm about to be on the back half of 33. Like,
Yeah.
I need a 3 in front of your name. I can't. I cannot do 20. And even then, I'm just like, you know what? Maybe I'll start at 45. But honestly, the thought of dating makes me want to like run into oncoming traffic because are we
Yeah.
kidding me?
It's just awful. Like,
It
you
is.
know, I don't want to know your like I guess is this like the first time I'm talking about it like publicly, but like I just got out of a long-term relationship. I don't
Mm-hmm.
want to know your favorite fucking color. I don't
Literally.
give
Oh my
a
God.
fuck
Yeah.
about your favorite fucking color. I don't care about where you went to school. I don't care about any of that crap. I know like learning that stuff is nice for when like I buy you presents and like all that stuff, but I don't want to go through those motions again. Like no one tells you how crazy it is going from something like long term where you literally almost walk down the aisle
Mm-hmm.
to oh, like I'll just take you out for drinks or like what are we or
Yeah.
where did you grow up? Like oh, that's so gross.
Going from being a wife to a talking stage is actually a personalized kind of hell nobody talks about
Oh, I bet.
because it is just, it's weird. And like, I joke with my friends that I asked this question, but like, I've legitimately asked this to a couple of people that like, it was like, we texted back and forth for like a couple weeks. It fell off, blah, blah, blah. But like,
Yeah.
I literally asked this guy once and he actually, I was impressed. I was like, you're going to block my number. He answered it. I said, how much? I'm like, I'm over 30 and I am divorced. I'm no longer
Mhm.
asking what your favorite movie is or like what, like if you were trapped on an island, what 3 items would you bring? I'm over here like, how much of your trauma, like what percentage of your trauma do you think that you have actually processed? And how much
Mhm.
of that unprocessed trauma are you going to shit all over me on a random Thursday?
Love that question.
And I've legitimately asked it. Am I insane? Yes. Do I care? No. But like it's,
I think that's real though.
as somebody who came out of a marriage, a few months later got into a relationship where everything went well. Turns out he's the avoidant from hell and literally dumped me at 7:30 in the morning on a Monday because I was like, "Hey, you have sucked at prioritizing me for the last couple weeks. This is really weird. This isn't like you. I don't want you to feel bad. I just want to fix it." Like cuz I
Yeah.
felt like we were a team. I felt
Mhm.
safe. Blah blah blah. And then he's like, "Yeah, no. Like I just can't." And I'm like, "The fuck?" So for me, I'm just like now I'm even more paranoid about, oh, it's too good because
Yeah.
I'm over here like, "Oh, this person's showing me effort from like X amount of time zones away. So did my ex. This person's doing
Yeah.
this. So did my ex." I'm like, and that's
Yeah.
stuff I got to process. And I am processing it because like not
Yeah.
everybody is my ex. But at the same time, my ex did a really good job at making me think that all was fine and dandy. It's fine.
Listen, that's so real too. I can't tell you. I've ended up obviously on the sad side of TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
And there's constantly this audio where this guy is like screaming and he's like, why the fuck would you enter her life where she pays her own bills and she takes care of what she needs to take care of and she works a 9 to 5 or she has her own business or she's a hustler, whatever the fucking thing is. You come into her life, you beg her for a chance because let's be real. And then you go and you fuck up her equilibrium
Mm-hmm.
and then you walk away and act like she's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, this man literally broke my brain in half for like 4 months. I think my friends were so sick of hearing his name. They were like, this one again. I'm like, look, I don't understand how the fuck, like, I am so torn up about this. But like, it hit like, we broke up in November and it hit like March. And I was like, I don't want him back because even if he came back tomorrow, there's so much that he would have to change and so much
Yeah.
effort to even like get me to reconsider. And I know he's not capable of that.
Yeah.
And
I tell
then
people
he
he
posted something last month that gave me the final fucking ick because I'm not into getting canceled. And we done. I was like, I never want to talk to you again. Don't
yeah.
call, don't text, don't look at my fucking snap stories for the 85th time. Like, go away.
Yeah. Yeah, no one ever really tells you how those smaller relationships really affect you more than like the bigger relationships. And I've always been someone in anything, not even relationships, but in anything who like mopes for like 48 hours and then I'm like, "All right, we need
Exactly.
to, because life doesn't stop, unfortunately. Wish it
That's
did.
why I was annoyed. I was
Yeah.
like, 48 hours, it's been 48 fucking days. I need to get over myself. Like, I was
But
so annoyed with
also,
myself.
I tell people all the time, kind of like how when you work out, there's delayed onset soreness, there's delayed
Mhm.
onset sadness. Because in the moment, the relationships end, you're like, I'm fucking free. Guys think that they're the only ones that this happens to. But you're
Yeah.
like, let me go sit on someone else. Let me go out. Let me go have a great time. Let me go party. Let me go see my girls. Like, you are making a lot of effort to go out and like not think about that person. But then after a few weeks, a few months, you're like, all right, it's been enough time, right? And then you like allow life to slow down, and that's when everything hits you, and you're like, well, what the fuck was I just doing for the last
Yeah. I'm
3
gonna be
weeks or
I'm gonna be completely honest. HME is where it is for the last 6 months because this fucker dumped me. Because
yeah.
I just dove into work and now it's where it's at and I'm like, "Thank you, I guess." But also, like, as much as I'm annoyed that it ended the way that it did, I think I was so hung up on it because he raised my standards in so many ways, and, like, there was a part of me that's like, "I'm not gonna find this because have you seen the dating pool in Western New York? It's
Yeah.
legitimately terrible." And every
Georgia's
time I
insane.
think I'm ready to go back out and date, "Are we dating the same guy?" pops up back up on the top of my Facebook feed, and I'm like, "No, I'm good. I'm good."
Are we
Like,
dating the same guy is absolutely freaking insane. But George is the same way. I moved here in 2019. And oh my God, I had toxic thing after toxic thing after toxic thing after toxic thing, men and women. So women,
exactly.
don't be
Yeah.
acting like you're better than anybody.
Yeah, no.
And
No,
then
I'm aware that I am legitimately insane. It's fine.
yeah, yeah.
I'm
But
just
it's like
working on my
it's just
insane.
yeah, there's the difference.
Yeah.
But also like why is it so fucking hard? And this is probably why women are going for younger men now because oh, you guys are brand new. You just got out of college. You're not doing anything crazy yet. You haven't had a taste for the outside world yet.
Mhm.
So I'm going to snatch you up. So as much as cuz I'm the same way. Like if you are younger than 27, I'm not really giving you my time of day. But
Right.
now I'm a little bit and I'm only 28. I'm turning 29, but just because frontal lobe.
Yeah.
I also have a son. Um and also like with my business and work and all these things, I can't really do like the codependency crap situation thing. Like
That's kinda my
I like
thing.
to go do things by myself. I like to go experience things by myself. Sometimes I'd love to have you with me. Sometimes I'm in the spotlight. Like my parents are very, forward figure in the community type individuals, so we go to a lot of events. Like sometimes I want to go by myself, sometimes I'd love to have my arm candy with me. I need someone who's like okay with me being my own person. The minute
Yeah.
you're not okay with me standing on my own 2 feet is the minute that we start to have freaking issues. And that's exactly what happened in my last relationship. Um Not that he's a bad guy in any way, which is probably why it's so difficult and so hard, but
It's my
I
ex-husband.
have always stood on my own 2 feet and I'm never going to stop doing that. And so he got uncomfortable and felt like I was leaving him behind, and then it turned into bigger issues and bigger issues and bigger issues, and we're fighting about nothing but everything at the same time. And eventually I just said, I'm done. Like there's something here that you're struggling with and you're not communicating that, and instead of communicating, you're taking your anger out on me, and I'm not your punching bag. Just like you are not my punching bag. If you can't handle your own issues, and this goes for everybody, if you can't
Mhm.
handle your own issues, you have no business being in anything with anybody.
Yeah.
So
I actually get yelled at that a lot because people are like, "You need to open up." I'm like, "Why? I can handle it. Like, let me just handle my own shit. Let me be dramatic for like 10 minutes, but like I'm gonna handle it."
yeah,
And I think that's my problem is I internalize things too much and I'm like, I don't want to dump on you. And like I have a friend right now that's literally like, you know, feel free to vent. And I'm like, I'm not gonna do that, but thank you. Like,
yeah,
I have my circle for that. Like, I appreciate it, but like no.
yeah,
Um, but also it's just because it's a weird dynamic. But like, I don't know. I'm very like my thing is I don't want to put energy into something that is A, either not reciprocated, or B, I start checking my phone. If I start checking my phone to see if you've texted me back, No. Because then
Yeah,
that
I don't
just,
want that.
I'm like, I'm good with where I'm at. I'm good with where I'm at with like my job and, you know, my career and stuff like that. And I need somebody that is going to reciprocate it back where I'm not like, oh my God, it's been like I don't need to talk to somebody every day. But
Yeah.
like if it's inconsistent, like on and off, like you'll talk to them like a lot for like 3 days straight and then you don't hear from them for 3 days and you got me literally sitting here like, are they gonna text me no, I'm out.
Yeah, too
I'm
much.
out.
Too much.
Like if we consistently like, you know, talk every other day or like talk every day but not that much and like, you know, it's I know
Yeah.
they've communicated that they've got stuff going on so they're not gonna be on their phone. Fine. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I don't need to
And
talk
that's
to you every
another
day.
thing people don't understand is like it takes 2 seconds. Do you know how long men spend in the bathroom? And you're telling me when you're scrolling through Instagram or TikTok and you're taking that shit that was finished 20 minutes ago, you couldn't have sent a text and just been like, "Hey, I've been busy thinking about you." Like it's not that hard. And
Literally.
men literally, and some women, I'm not going to generalize. I'm not going to generalize. But people, let me
Just
say that.
people. Yeah.
People make it seem like it's rocket science. Like
Yeah.
I was talking to a friend the other day and she had gotten into a fight with her partner. Um and this same thing. This person didn't want to go to an event, ended up going, was there for 6 hours, didn't communicate. And they have each other's location. But
Mhm.
the partner was like, you know, why are you essentially like breathing down my neck? You have my location. And my friend was like, that's not the point. The point is I want you to be able to say, hey, I'm going to go to this. This is the situation. I will let you know when I'm on the way home. That way, I'm not going to text my phone. I'm not going to check your location 100 freaking times. But if I don't hear anything, I'm going to think something's wrong. Your
Right.
location's not moving. You've been somewhere for 6 hours. Like, I'm going to be concerned.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, so essentially they, you know, huge blow up fight, but they worked it out. But I'm like, why is it that hard? You're checking the time. You can't, hey, I'm still here. Like, why is it so hard? And like, no, this is like a real question. I would love if someone could reach out after hearing this episode and tell
Yeah,
me
literally.
why it's so hard.
Tell
Because
us in the
then maybe I'll
comments
be like,
because I just want to
yeah,
know.
yeah, I literally just want to know, like,
We
what's
we
the
may
science
even bring you
behind it?
on. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, literally, you will be the SME in your field. You will be Pulitzer Prize,
I love
Nobel
the Peter
winner.
Pan reference.
Yes, because it's just like, and I genuinely want to know. This isn't me being a bitch. I just like, I genuinely want to know.
Yeah.
And you can help all the people in relationships out there if you can tell us why it's so hard.
I mean, speaking of relationships and
Yes.
should we make that little official announcement since this won't come out for a little bit?
Should we?
we we should, I feel like we
Think
should.
so.
Worst
Would
case,
you
we
like to
can
make
just
it?
edit it out if we decide not to.
Yeah. Would you like to make it? This is
I
your podcast. You make it.
So Alyx, myself, and another wonderful, wonderful woman in the health and wellness field, Ilianis.
Mm-hmm.
We have kind of decided to take the mini group chat and literally put it on the mic. We are starting a second podcast. It is called Friends Without Benefits.
Yes.
And it is going to be on all the things that basically Alyx and I can't really talk about on our personal podcast.
Everything that we started to talk about, but we
Yeah,
couldn't
it'll
continue.
like I always joked like on my dating apps, like the 10 seconds I was on them, like after my marriage ended, that I was gonna be the Taylor Swift of podcasts, but like
Yes.
I'm gonna be the Taylor Swift of podcasts on this. So like tread lightly because I'm probably gonna talk about you on said podcast. Like I'm not sorry.
Mess you up. Listen,
Like
I'm all
mm-mm.
about, especially if it's been years, right? Like if it's been
Yeah,
years, girl, you better talk about it. You better get that
yeah,
tea out there. Cause why are we
really.
holding it in?
Exactly.
Why? And listen, some people might view that as messy, and that's okay. Um,
Look, I grew up in central New York, northern New York. Like I am about as white trash messy as it gets. I don't care. I do not care.
but that's why we're starting this other podcast, right? Is because
I
both of our
know.
spaces are professional. Even though we do allow for free flowing conversation, because that's when um
Absolutely.
the magic happens. But yes, this other podcast will be just downright chaotic in all the best ways.
Well, because not
And I'm
everyone wants to hear all the like dirty
yeah.
dating details. And I'm not talking like we're going to get like rated R, but
Yeah, no.
you
We'll
know,
ease you
like just,
guys in.
yeah, like
Yeah, we'll take
it's,
it slow.
I like my niche of hot mess espresso being mental health with like a little bit of chaos. And this is going to
Yeah, I
be
love it.
like the other side that I feel like I can't really bring on here. And again,
Yeah,
it's all about not putting yourself into a box. HME is kind of a
exactly.
box. I love that box. I like hold that box dear to my soul, and HME
Yes.
is going absolutely nowhere. But yeah, we're adding it on. It's basically going to be like a little girls' night out.
Yeah, exactly. Drink your tea, your wine, your coffee, your hard liquor. We do not judge.
Your
Your
mocktails, like
water, your matchas. Yeah, drink it all. Just listen, kick back. I think also, again, as I said, I do business selfishly. I think it's also the same thing. Like I was
mhm,
like, the idea that came about, I really wanted something where I can essentially talk about the things that I can't talk about on my podcast.
yeah. Because let's be
Um,
clear, this was your idea technically.
yes, technically it was. I was reaching out for people to interview for co-hosts, and then I had met Heather um prior,
Yep,
before that even came out,
I know.
before that was even a thought. And then she reached out one day and she was like, "Have you found a host? Because I might do this. I might be up for it." And I was
Yeah.
like, "Bitch, don't lie to me." And then same time, at the same time, my friend Illy, who now I guess we're a threesome, but now was like, "Hey, this could be fun. I'm looking for something a little bit more creative, but I'm not used to this space and like
Yeah,
XYZ." And then one night I was like, because I teetered, I was like, should I just choose one, or should I just say balls to the wall and make this something completely brand new?
right.
And so I reached out to both of you and I was like, I have
Let's do it.
a third. This could be something great. We will all have creative control. It will all be our baby that we will nurse and learn to feed and grow and all the things. And thankfully, you both were like, hell yeah.
Yep.
Um, it's been great so far. Conflicting schedules a little bit, which
Well,
is
yeah.
fine.
Which is
Um,
hilarious because we're all in the same time zone, which makes it
we are.
even like I can't imagine if one of us was in California, we'd be so screwed.
Oh my God. Even if we were, yeah, it's just, even if we were like in Texas, where the hour, I guess,
The
depending
hour
on what
behind, I
part
swear
of
to God, is
Texas.
worse than 3.
Yeah.
But no,
Yeah.
and like
Because
I will say,
then we could be like, okay, early evenings for us, and then it would be afternoons for that person, right? But yeah, 1 hour is just, it's such a difference. And but yeah, so I'm really excited. Friends Without Benefits. I think it's gonna be something.
it's gonna be something.
Sorry, all my cats are
No, I know, but it is gonna be something. I know I heard them. I was like, oh. But I will
yep.
say, Illy,
I think
for someone who has 0 podcast experience, is like very much holding her own with all of this because I really was like, she's either gonna keep up or we are both gonna accidentally eat her alive. And
yeah.
she is like, she's handling
Yeah.
it like a champ, man. I'm like, damn,
Listen,
girl.
I'm her biggest fucking fan, even in her chaos.
Hmm.
And yeah, she's so chaotic and I give her crap for it all the time. She's just, she gives her husband crap for being ADHD, but I'm like, I think you're like right there with them.
Girl, you're dead.
Um,
Yeah, she definitely. And I mean
but
that in the most loving way, but
yes,
like,
yes, there's
it's just
no hate.
we're all ADHD over here. It's
Yes,
fine.
we all have little tendencies. But yeah, no, same. I thought, once we talked about doing video, that she was going to be like, this might be a little too much, but she took it in stride. And even though we
Literally.
haven't like confirmed travel schedules and anything like that,
Hmm. She's doing the
she's holding
thing.
on for dear life. She's
She
holding on for dear life.
also
And I'm,
very much has the face for video. Like
yeah,
when I like finally saw her, I was like, yeah, if she had said no to
she's
video, I would have smacked her.
beautiful.
Like
She's beautiful.
stunning.
She has lush, she's dark, light skinned for the people that know. Um, and she's got just such long, thick, curly hair.
Ugh,
She's like
she's
everything that
stunning.
I wanted to look like as a kid growing up, literally. Like,
Mhm.
because my parents are dark skinned and I'm over here like light, even though I can tan. Say hi, Noodle.
Noodle.
Hey.
Oh goodness.
Um,
Oh, we're a torty with white mittens.
I know. Yeah, she's everything that I wanted to look like as a little girl, which is so funny. She's also the first friend that I made when I moved to Georgia.
Oh,
Um, and yeah, and so it's been chaotic, but we've become a lot closer in this last 6 months.
yeah.
Last year we made a promise to each other to see each other like essentially once a quarter
Right.
because life.
Yeah,
Um,
literally.
and so we scheduled each other in our calendars once a quarter. And then I had a friendship that kind of like paused, and then we had a mutual friend who got married. So we both were in the wedding. We both were doing like, traveling together for the bride. And so that got us like so much closer. And then, like I said earlier in the episode, I found myself again in a church after 20 years, and she's who I went with. And then,
Mhm.
my relationship ending, she's called me every day. And so somehow, some way, I think the universe knew, like, she's
You were gonna
getting
need her.
more, that I was going to need her, but that also she was going to need someone to like kick her in the ass a little bit. Because even though she's beautiful and she's kick ass and she's, in health and wellness, she really is someone who like struggles with perfectionism and like the outside noise. And like, if,
Yeah.
that one person doesn't support her the way that she really asks or needs, she kind of is like, well, am I good enough? And I'm like, bitch, if you
Ugh,
don't get
girl.
out there and do the fucking thing, I'm gonna fight you. And so I think the universe knew that we were both going to need each other. And then also, I think for her, the podcast will help her grow as an individual too. Because I have
1,000%.
high hopes for this freaking Friends Without Benefits.
Yeah.
Y'all just wait.
Literally. It's the actual no strings where like
Yeah.
nobody walks away disappointed. It's gonna be great.
Nope. It's going to be great. I'm seeing tour 2027. Not crazy.
Ooh.
But
I
you
mean, we both live near very major cities. We could kind of do like a little bit of a forum at some point. I'm
yeah,
just
you
saying.
never listen. Giggly Squad's doing it. Who else was doing it?
God, so many people.
It's like the new thing, which is crazy. Podcast
I
tours.
love it though. I
It's
love it.
Yeah, I think it's great. So I used to not be into podcasts at all, which is
Mhm.
crazy as a podcaster. Used to hate it
I
because I
barely
couldn't
listen to
really.
podcasts, so
Yeah, but like, oh, I see ears.
yep,
I could
this is Finn.
barely. I couldn't really like pay attention to someone like talking in my ear as I was like driving or doing something. And
Mhm.
then when I started listening to like self-help podcasts, that kind of changed. So then I got into podcasts that were more, adventurous or whatever.
He's
And
literally
then
laying on my laptop.
I see an ear. That's all I see. The inside of an ear.
I'm gonna like try and move the camera so he can see it. Ooh, I'm just trying to like
Oh, you're black. Look at you. Oh my gosh.
he's
You
a
know
very
what his
pretty boy.
face reminds me of, which is probably so crazy?
Hmm.
The dragon from Shrek.
I was gonna say toothless, but yeah.
And now I just saw an eye. Just a simple eye.
Yep. Yep, he is. You're a boy dragon.
I need people to understand we both, between the two of us, have like 10 animals,
I love it.
if not a little bit less, a little bit more.
I'm gonna be going down to like a humane number with 3, but I'm actually kind of sad about that.
Yeah. Well, even with rehoming the kittens, I still technically have 3 dogs,
Mm-hmm.
and then my ex's cat, and then we're keeping 2 cats. So
Yeah, it's gonna be a zoo.
yeah, that's like 6, 7. I don't know. Math. Oh my gosh. He's the cutie.
He is. He's a big baby. I'm
Yeah.
convinced that my soul cat sent him because he is like attached to me like crazy bud. Okay, well now that the camera is back because Finn decided he needed to be the star of the show and knock the whole thing over because he's a chunk. Yeah. So there's that.
Love it.
But yeah, just to kind of wrap, we went over your Instagram, how to
Mhm.
find you, all of that. But yeah, hopefully Friends Without Benefits launches this fall. I'm
Mhm.
like gonna give it my damnedest to keep everyone on track because
Yeah.
I'm very excited about this. And when I get excited about something, I'm relentless.
You're already kind of the mom of the group, which I love.
I very much am, which is hilarious because I am so child free. It's not even funny. Like I have zero desire to have kids. I got my fallopian tubes, like literally the one that takes them out and just doesn't tie them at 26. Like I am,
Love.
but I'm always the mom of the group. I'm always the
Listen,
one that's like, no, even when I'm hammered, I'm
listen.
like, drink your water. Oh my God. Did we all pee before we leave? Like that is me. I
Listen,
am the mom of the group.
I'm the actual mom and I'm not upset. You started sending things and was like, "What do we think about this?" And like, "This could be where we record." And I was like, "You know what? Get on with your bad self. Freaking do it.
That yeah, I think
Send
I
all the
found like
ideas."
I really think I found the studio. It's going to be out in Buffalo and I'm really excited about
No,
it.
it was beautiful. It was.
So especially because it gives
Is
us so many opportunities. I already have a photographer lined up. Like I got the things. So
guys, Heather is freaking on it. And here I am like trying to keep life together, but yeah, freaking on it. Listen, this is why I wanted other co-hosts because I was like, I need people who are like actually going to see it for what it is and are
yeah.
like, hell yeah, man, let's jump in freaking head first. And even though when I launched this, I didn't see my life heading in the direction that it is headed in, I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
Hey, well, I'm excited to see where you are 6 months from now because I'm telling you, if I dove in and got HME to where it is,
Yeah.
like I'll never actually thank him. But like also, if you hadn't dumped me, I wouldn't have added so and so on Snap, which would have led to all of these different connections that I made.
Mm-hmm. Listen,
So,
fuel
you
to the
know,
fire. It doesn't matter how you got there, as long as you got there, right? And honestly, the best motivator is rage and anger. I know that that's probably not the healthiest way
oh,
to
I'm
look at
petty.
things,
I'm petty as
but
hell. I'm like, oh, I can't. Watch me.
watch me. Yeah,
I can do all things through spite, which
yeah.
strengthens me. But also, like, absolute side note, just to kind of like go back to what we were talking about like way earlier, there's this quote that goes around that said, I manifested, but I did the fucking work. I'm literally getting that and putting it in my studio because that is literally the thing. Everyone that keeps being like, you just got to manifest, just like, you got to do the goddamn work too. You
Yeah,
got to sit there and actually do the freaking work. You
yeah,
got to make the calls. You got to pitch it. You got to hear the 1,000 no's before you hear a yes.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, you got to do the things. Like
That's
you can
so,
manifest it
yeah,
and really believe in it, but you actually have to do something about it. It's not just going to be
yeah,
handed to you.
yeah. No, that's so real. And, you know, this could be a story for another time. Maybe we can talk about it on Friends Without Benefits. But
Mm,
um, I am afraid of manifestation because it will give you literally what you ask for. My son is a result of
mhm.
manifestation, of me literally asking what I asked for and not being too specific. So, I since then I really haven't. I mean, like I've set foundations, I have a vision board. Um, I do smaller work, I write down my intentions, but I'm not actually asking the universe for something specific because holy crapola, I literally manifested. My friend Ryan gave me a wish box.
Mm,
Put what I wanted in the wish box, and 2 months later I was pregnant. So,
yeah. I literally I overthink too much to manifest because I
yeah.
would accidentally reverse manifest some shit like, "Oh my god, they're not into me. They're not into me. They're not into me." And all of a sudden they're not into me and it's like, "Oh, I literally manifested that." So like and manifestation also has to do with like self-belief, self-worth, all of that,
Mhm.
blah blah blah. But yeah, like the whole everyone's just like just manifest it. I'm like, look, if you're an overthinker or you like hyperfixate on things, that's a bad idea because if you're
Yeah.
actually really good at manifesting, you're accidentally going to manifest yourself into some shit that
Yeah.
you are not going to be be able to dig yourself out of.
Yep.
So,
And everything
cautiously
happens.
manifest.
Yes, and everything happens in threes. So please be careful.
Oh, literally. Literally. We had two big losses last year and we were just sitting there like, fuck, who's the third?
Yeah.
Who's the third? And you just brace yourself because everything does happen in threes and you're just like,
Yep.
shit.
I had
But
3 things happen literally last week, and I was just like,
I'm like,
who the
okay.
fuck? Who can take this? raw dog straight back to back to back to back. Like there's no
Yep.
time to breathe. There's no time to mourn. There's no time to catch your breath. It just always happens in threes. And it's just like, why don't the good things happen in threes?
Literally.
Like, why can't I get 3 successful whatevers?
Yeah.
Why can't I, for people who apply to jobs, why can't I get 3 offers and then choose my favorite offer? Why can't I, I don't know, have 3 good reels back to back to back? Like, why does it always have to be such an uphill battle for things that are good and then such an easy thing for things that are bad? Like, yeah.
Yeah. I think maybe also because we just subconsciously focus on the negative. And we're
Possibly.
not actually like really seeing the positive, or we see the positive as like something that's like way up here. So it has to be all the way up here to like
Yeah.
actually. And I guess that's where gratitude journals came from. But I also think gratitude journals are a crock of shit, to be completely honest.
Yeah. I did try a gratitude journal once at the beginning of this year because I was like, you know what? Life is so good. It didn't. It didn't work at all because I was like, you know what? Life is so good. I want to keep the momentum going. And then I lost my job.
Yeah. No, I'm very much like, I'm going to have my pity party. Tomorrow's a new day.
Yep.
That's my gratitude journal. Like, today was shit. I can find absolutely nothing that I want to focus on right now.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's a new day.
Yeah. And like at the beginning of 2025, I had 4 different family members in the hospital 4 months in a row.
Yeah, no.
Literally from New Year's Eve on until the end of April. It was insane. So,
literally.
So, yeah. So, thankfully, everybody walked out of the hospital, but every single one was a life or death situation. And I was just like, what the frick is going on? This is not at all what I expected 2025 to be. I think everybody, especially with how like New Year's Eve felt, was like, wow, like, yes, we're kind of in political turmoil, but like, this is going to be kind of a good year, right? And then immediately, 2025 was like, ha!
Literally.
You think? Wow. Yeah, 2025, you have done it. And we're only 6 months in.
Barely 6 months in.
Oh, God.
But yeah, thank you so much for coming on. I am so excited for this, for your coaching, for Friends Without Benefits, for all the things. Like, shout out to Threads for connecting us.
Yeah.
And, maybe we'll get a feature on there one day.
Yeah, listen, if you've ever doubted Threads, you shouldn't doubt it anymore.
It's incredible for networking. I've never networked so much in my life so quickly.
And so easily too, right?
Yeah.
Like the posts that you don't think will get a lot of views usually do. And then people come out of the woodwork and then they start following you or they hit you up on Instagram and you're like, oh my God, why have I ever doubted this app or done anything differently ever?
Yep.
It's so nice.
Literally.
It's so nice.
Yeah, get your ass on Threads if you are trying to network. It not only does local, because I've gotten very niched local things, but also like on a global scale, especially with podcasting or any kind of networking, like do it.
Yeah.
You never know who you're going to run into.
Yeah. I've met people in Africa, Cape Town, South Africa,
Yeah.
people in the States, people in Europe. It's amazing.
So my zoo is being crazy at the moment. I'm not even sure what just happened, but yeah. Yep. You can catch us hopefully this fall. Catch Alyx on Call Me Alyx with a Y. That is her Instagram. Go check her out for coaching, all the things. And yeah, stay hot and stay messy, guys.